wanted to teach you about parenting decade 10 to 20. This is usually the most challenging parenting stage you'll ever be in. And if you don't get prepared on this, 0 to 10 is a very easy thing to do because you just command your children and they do it. But from 10 to 20, I think even me, this is the most toughest stage I am in. I remember last week giving a story of my son, and I think those who are here, I'm sorry for repeating. Give us that video, Mugo. The video kindly. There's a video I want you to see, a parent crying because she lost the son at this age, and I'm so sure it will open your eyes as they said. Yeah. Have you ever watched this video? So I should not show you. Now, before we start, I told you, I've never had issues with my son at school or in school than this year. My son is a very bright son. Actually, I'm expecting him to score very well in Alliance because I know that's where he is going. But recently, I got called in school and I was told, Jeremy, because it's Jeremy, I have Jeremy, Jewel, and Jasmine. Jeremy is not performing very well in school, just come. Imagine my son dropped all the way from number 2 to number 13. I got curious and I said, let me go to school. Nikamwambia Jeremy, nimeitwa shuleni, I've never been called to your school. I've come for the first time. What could be happening, my son? The beauty about it is that me and him, we are very close. So he told me, Dad, kuna kitu nataka kukwambia. Can we go out of this class, twende kwa field? So we walked with him to the field. As we went to the field, he told me, Dad, you know, kuna msichana ameletwa hii shule. And Dad nimeshindwa kuconcentrate. Kwanza alisema amefunga macho hivi. Ukiona mwanaume amefunga macho, ujue hiyo kitu imemlemea. I sympathized with him because he is in class 8. The emotions have started now destabilizing him and he needs to be stable. And you realize these emotions come when the children are at their critical stage. I remember personally I repeated class 8 because of the same problem. So nikaona nikaraana. Is it okay? So I told my son, it's unfortunate that I have failed you because at the age of 10, girls get to hormones that bothers them and distort them for the rest of their life. Girls get through a hormone called estrogen and a hormone called proestrogen. As boys, we go through a different crazy thing. We get a hormone called testosterone. Whatever you call testosterone, because it is in the testes. So the most challenging part of every man is this part. So I knew. Nikauliza my son, are you having wet dream? Usiku unakuta tu some fruit kwa penis yako? Dad, kwanza hapo. So you can't ask how many liters. You just need to know. Anatoa. So Jeremy, are you zingine ukikaa chini unaona your penis kamesimama, Dad, like that. So I realized the testosterone has started destabilizing him. No, wait. I hope it is also not the same issue we are discussing here. So, I told my son, can we borrow permission from teachers? Twende home, we talk like a dad and what? A son. Hey, the teachers told me, come and pick him tomorrow. I never told the teachers what the issue my son was going through. So on our way out, before I went to take my son back to class, sasa nimpiki kesho, I told him, by the way, my son, huyu msichana umesema anaitwa aje mwenye anakusumbua tujue whether I can talk to the parents anyway. The lady was called, I think, Coretta or Jiro. I remember that name to date. So nikamwambia, can you allow me, teacher, there's a girl I want to see in your school called Coretta or Jiro. Probably we talk with her so that nijue shida iko wapi. When I saw the girl, even me, I think I had a problem. So the two of us needed counseling. Is it okay? I realized the same aroused. Now, mnaweza cheka, but let me tell you, and I will take you very fast. By the way, I promise you 30 minutes I should be out of your way. I want it to be short and powerful. 10 to 20, ukisurvive hapa, you are good to go. 10 years to how many years? 20. Once you survive here, you are good to go. How do we win our children in the 21st century? And I want to use the minimum time. Number one, parenting, niwakumbushe that parenting is like climbing a mountain. Na right now kama uko na mtoto wa 10 to 20, mimi niko na wawili, so I am talking from experience. This is where I want you to be very alert. I told guys last time when I was here, somebody last year called me to go to UK for 5 years. Once I graduated with my PhD, they wanted me to go and do a professorship there, because there you take 2 or 3 years and you become a professor. But he called me, the same day he called me was the same day I was in my son's school over that issue. Would you go if you are the one? So, Sazi Apa, I know your careers are at stake, but your children are at most stake. Mtu mwetu akona mtoto wa 10 to 20 years. I'm not scaring you, but I'm telling you, hormonally, this is usually the most challenging time of their life they are going through. So I want you to know it is a mountain that you are climbing. But the good thing about this mountain is that, number one, it will come to an end. I usually tell parents, at 10 to 20, do it so well, because you don't have another opportunity to repeat it again. Right now, my son, ako 14. 13 years from now, I'm expecting you not to be in my house. My daughter right now is 12. Nika cute, so wacha nikape tu only 10. Nako kanaweza olewa mapema. Is it clear? So 10 years she will not be in my house. So let's do it well, because we are not doing it again. Tell your neighbor, we are not doing this again. Number 3, your skills determines your ease. Parenting is an art. Parenting is not a gift. It is not a gift. It is an art. So I want you to know that the greater skills you have in parenting at this stage, the better you are in conquering. Number 3, it gets tougher as you climb higher. So right now, nataka mjue, kama msichana wako na kijana wako amefika 10, now here you cannot relax. You cannot even leave them to your house girls to parent them. I want you to be very watchful. Number 4, it requires a lot of strength. Hapa, saa zingine they'll do things that will disappoint you. They'll do things that you never expected them to do. I have a relative of mine. Something happened last year at our family gathering. My wife notices a girl rimping. Kagal kako grade 6. I'm telling you the truth. Kagal kako grade 6 kana rimp hivyo. I told my wife, enda ushike kale kasichana mwende nako uniambie what is happening. The kagal opened, I'm telling you my relative. The kagal opened that the brother in Form 4, they have been sleeping together since she was in class 3. So when we told the mother screamed as if she, we are even happy the mother is alive. You'll hear things that you have never heard. Kuna vitu zingine unaweza ambia mtoto wako anafanya ushangae. Boss, I hope you are okay. The fourth one is that it requires early preparation. So we need to be prepared. I usually tell people, before you buy a car, you first go to the driving school. True or false? Because you need to prepare before you drive. The fifth one is that parenting is not for cowards. And then the sixth one is that it is in phases. Nashinanga nikisema, there are 4 phases of parenting. The first phase is 0 to 10. At that time, you are a commander. You are a coach. No, you are a commander. You just issue instructions. Jasmine, ako kwa hiyo stage. Wacha, fanya, wacha. But when they are from 10 to 20, you are no longer a cop. You are a coach. We call them the 4C. You become a coach. I cannot command my son what to do. Sasa singeenda shule nimwambie, wachana na wasichana hizo ni pepo. I cannot tell him that. I now come ahead of him and tell him, my son, I was also at your stage. My daughter, I was also here. And this is how I maneuvered. You do it as a what? As a coach. After you coach them for up to 19 years, you now change. Sasa wameenda university. You are no longer a coach because they have seen so many coaches. So you are not the first one. They don't believe in you. You become a counselor. Unakuta msichana wako ana date kigangster, unamwambia my daughter. Unaonaje hizo tattoo? My daughter. Is it clear? You become a coach. Because if you command him, wachana na yeye, they do what annoys you the most. Then when they reach at that years, they are no longer in your hands. You let them face the world, but at that time you become what? A consultant. You tell them, my daughter and my son, as you leave my house, I want you to know anytime you need me, I'll always be there for you. Naona kama munashika, si munipige makofi yake na amen. Next, because of time, I went to Vishaoshwa. Hey, sitaki kutema sana. I went to that school. You see those sema hiyo jina, listen to what your neighbor is saying, ujue hata ni wa academy ama ni primary. Sema hiyo jina, watu wanasema hiyo. Is it okay? Watu wa Murang'a hii hawawezi. Is it okay? I love something I read in their notice board. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm moving very fast. Listen to what they had written. We would like to remind you that the magic words such as hello, please, you are welcome, I'm sorry, and thank you, they all begin at home. It is also at home that the children learn to be honest, to be on time, to be diligent, to show friends their sympathy, as well as to show utmost respect for their elders and all teachers. Home is also where they learn to be clean, not to talk with their mouth full, and how or where to properly dispose their garbage. Home is also where they learn to be organized, to take good care of their belongings, and that it is not okay to touch others. Here in school, now Vishaoshwa and Mountain View, we teach them languages, mathematics, history, geography, physics, and physical education. We only reinforce what they have received at home. So kama mtoto wako anaiba sweta huku na ananyamaza kwa sababu kuna mwizi mwingine aki mnaniangalia vibaya. Mimi nimesema na hapa nyuma, I have not mentioned anyone. Next, I want you ladies to know that this is what parenting is all about. This big jug here, this is God. These are our children. These are the parents. These children do not belong to us. These are gifts from God. So the only thing we need as parents is to ask God for guidance in raising our children. Because once unaona mtoto amenyamaza hivyo, nobody, by the way, do you know that, and I'm very sorry, let me not use your school. Do you know there are so many children you meet along the way? The president is amongst the children you meet on the road. Are you aware of that? Do you know there are some of the children you see today, tomorrow, they'll be 20 years from today, they'll be judges. Do you also know one of the child you met will be a terrorist? No, let's talk. Is it clear? One will be Obama, another Osama. The letters. Because that is how the society is. Only God can help us raise right children. Next, because of time, nikawambia, anytime your child clocks a different age, you need to realize in parenting, age is not just a number. It should click an alarm. Wow, my son, my daughter has shifted. Nikasema, anytime you have a child 0 to 1, you have a baby. Me, I don't have any right now. 1 to 3, you have a toddler, siko hapo. 3 to 5, you have a preschooler. That is Jasmine, ako hapo. 5 to 10, that is a child, wangu ameisha. 11 to 13, that is where my daughter is. They are called twins. That is the age between what? Childhood and adolescent. Na hiyo sasa ndio nataka kuongelesha haraka haraka. 13 to 19 is what? Teenagers. Hiyo sasa ndipo Jeremy yako. Ndio unaona hata nimetoa kipara. This one, you can't be handsome. Is it clear? It's a serious stage. 19 to 25 is young adult. 25 to 30 is what? Wakishamaliza hapa sasa wanatoka nyumbani. But we must be ready to go through with them there. Ladies and gentlemen, this picture should... Please, mwende research about it. I wish you can take photos of this picture. Itawasaidia sana. Mtoto akiwa 22 years, 10 to 20 years, they don't use prefrontal cortex. They use what is called what? Limbic system. Limbic, you know, akili haiguruangi hivi. Akili inaguruanga back, forward. The problem with limbic, please go to the next slide nionyeshe. Check what I'm saying. The prefrontal cortex operates slowly and is logical and precise. Hapa ndipo logic zinakuanga. Do I do or don't I do? Can I have sex or should I not have sex? Can I date that guy or not? That one is the prefrontal. The limbic is emotional. They don't think about the consequences. Angalia venye nimesema, the limbic system keeps you alive. They want something that makes them feel good. Something that dislike pain. They want the now. They want just to feel good. So, our son, unaweza your son, why did you have sex? I just wanted to feel good. They don't have the consequences of thinking whether it is harmful or good. Wanna watch video just to bring out the thrill, but they don't know whether it is good or what. They take drugs today. Like right now, if some of you are given cocaine, you will not take it because you already know the consequences is bad. But for teenagers, they want to feel the thrill. Unaona ile anaitwa Papa Shadura alikuwa anafanya. They want to feel that. The now moment. So if we don't guide them now, they can get lost. Next, because of time, I'm really moving. How do you know whether the child you have in your house is a teenager? Kama mtoto wako kuna hizi characteristics, then we are in the same boat. One, they lose interest with toys. Like my daughter has no interest with toys. Hizo doli zenye zote tumenunua, she's no longer interested with them. Number 2, they no longer think you know everything. Hata kuna sometimes my daughter aliniambia, na dadi unajua unakuanga mshamba sana. They think we don't know anything. Number 3, they no longer tell you everything either. I saw something my daughter had written in her bedroom door. Knock before you enter. This is private place. Because there are things that so wewe ukidhani unajua mtoto wako, you'll be very shocked. Sijui kama mnashika what I'm talking about. The 4th one, they start developing their own taste. There's a time tulikuwa tumeenda na my son in a very prominent event. Nani amevaa hizi trousers zinakaa ni kama hizi za kulala zinaitwa pajama. Sweatpant. My son anasema anataka kwenda na hiyo na hatatoa. Unaona wanavaa vitu zingine wanashindwa, is it limbic system? Because they have their own what? Their own taste. Vitu zingine hata kwako kwa nyumba unawapikia vitu wanasema you know they have their own taste. Number 6, the tantrum. Kwanza hapa ndipo nataka mjue the tantrum return. Kwanza sasa mimi ndio nakuanga na shida. You know in my house my son is in boarding. So kwa house yangu it's my wife, Jewel na Jasmine. Jasmine is okay because she has not developed this tantrum. Sasa unaweza jua venye nakuanga na shida, bibi aninyamazie na Jewel aninyamazie. Unaweza rudi huko. So the tantrums are very heavy. And if as a parent you are not watchful, children can use tantrum to manipulate you, to do according to their will. I gave you a story I saw at here, is it called TRM? Katoto sijui kamekataa kununua sijui Oreo. Mimi ndio nikuja TRM nikasikia Oreo. Do you know the katoto kalienda pale kwa sahani za kauro. Kauro is melamine. Na vikombe kakazimwaga zote. The parent paid 98,700. Kwa sababu anamwaga na mwaga. Stop! Kama ni mimi angekuwa anapepeta huku juu. The only man who has ever fried in the whole world. Hey! Nakashika mguu na kapera hivi. Kanajikuta home. Is it clear? The tantrums. Number what? Number 7, they model the exaggerated teenagers they see on television. You know, you need to be very careful about that. They care more about their appearance. They start dabbling in social media. I was shocked. Me even I'm not in social media, by the way. But even my daughter, I found my daughter in TikTok dancing. Hivi. Why are you taking that video, boss? You can imagine. Where did she get? And I'm a born again Christian. You can imagine. Mtoto wa mtu anafanya, you see? They grow physically. I think my children have grown very physically. And they start doing things you have no idea they knew about. Are you sure that your children do not know about sex? Are you sure, parents? Can you bet on that? You'll be very shocked. Wananijamaziza hiyo hapo tu kama two angels. But they know a lot. Next, because of time, I told you how these 7 things can help you succeed in parenting. Me naambia na move very fast. One slide, nimecharge time. One slide 45 seconds. You may not know I'm timing myself. 1, understanding. Parent, knowledge is power. Proverbs 24 verse 3. By wisdom, a house is built. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 10. By skill, with skills, strength is required. Number 2, the parenting style matters a lot. Please don't be a dictator to a teenager. Watoto wetu wakishafika age 10, their opinion also matters. Their opinion also matters. Kwa sababu they are also in their own world. Remember I told you children grow in 4 phases. They first start being dependent. They grow to interdependent. Then independent. So at this time, nataka kusikiza my daughter. Sitaki nyumbani ati ni kama anasikia ni kama, you know, like the waroinge aspect. Mtoto ana grow with a lot of bitterness because they don't feel as if their opinion matters. You remember the story I gave you last time here of aka katoto, babake alikuwa so harsh. One day katoto wakiwa amekaa dining hall. Katoto kakauliza dad, daddy, are cockroaches good for eating? The dad slapped the boy. Poa! Hey, the boy akanyamaza akaendelea kukula kama anatoka damu huku. After amemaliza, what are you talking? What are you saying? Hapana dad, your food had 3 cockroaches. You have already swallowed them. I have nothing to say. Be very careful about your parenting what? Style. Number 3 is what? Teamwork. The lady whose son committed suicide, I don't blame her. You can't blame somebody else. But did you realize she did it alone? The man was not in the picture. Did you realize that? I've always told single parents who are here, and especially single mothers who have boys, anytime your boy is at 10 years, please don't dare do it alone. You don't even understand what testosterone is. Like right now, naonanga msichana wangu akiwa moody. Me, I don't understand. Nashindanga nikiwaambia, mwekiridhiei, but me, I even don't understand what they are going through. For boys, mother, when have you ever become a boy to understand what men are going through? Yeah, ukiona ameingiza mkono hapo namwambia, shetani, si shetani, kama ni shetani, hata mimi niko naye. Is it? We have problem. More men has you need to introduce a man in their life. When my son clocked 10, I told my wife, I want you deliberately to push Jeremy towards me. I want to raise Jeremy now. You have raised a good boy, now bring my son, I want to raise a man. Otherwise, nikikuachia, instead of raising a warrior, you raise a broiler. Are you guys get what I'm talking about? Mtanikumbuka tu nikiwaambia. Unajua mnaniangalia ni kama niko abnormal. One day, you know I'm normal. Then, so if you are a single mother, please connect the boy to the father. But if there was a very bad conflict between you and the dad, then look for an uncle and bring him on board. Atakusaidia tu up to 20 years. It's very much important. The other one is the school. The values in a school matters a lot. Thank God that in this school you learn even about God. One of the things I love, I know I go to schools, actually hata nimechelewa juu nimetoka shule zingine, but if you check the walls in this school is a value-based school. Let's appreciate Mountain View for what Madam has done. You know, nasikianga mko na Catholic Mass, I really appreciate this school on behalf of Madam. The fourth one is what? The neighborhood. Who are the friends of your child? The friends of your child determines the outcome of your child. You know, so please, I hope every parent knows the best friends of what? Their daughter or their son. They are the ones, they form something that we usually call a culture. There's something that is called ni kama sijui kama nyinyi, I don't know whether in your workplace uangalie yule jamaa mnashindanga naye ama yule madam mnashindanga naye, the things kama you may have been employed without believing in corruption, but when you started befriending people who are corrupt, you are now in the system. Is it true? Talk to me. Is it true? Huku unachelewa job, lakini watu wakakwambia sasa hii kiberebere ya kukuja mapema, now you come late. It is called peer pressure. Now, number what? 7, foundation. If you can do it right here, parents, venye nawaambia, you have scored. By the way, my work as a parent is very easy. I know my foundation is right. When I was building my house, somebody told me, can you be very careful on using a lot of money on foundation? Because if you get it wrong on foundation, the whole house will collapse. You can repair walls, but you can never repair what? Number 9 is parental, emotional, spiritual, and mental stability. A lot of parents today are not mentally sober. Mnaonekana mmenyamaza, but people are you know, nilikuwa tao pale audio, jamaa mwingine akakuja akanigonga hapa. Kwa amekimbia, nikasimama. Oh, unaonekana hujasikia uchungu, nikajua people are going through stress. Nikamuuliza, nini umenifanya? Nikaona hapa nikikaa tena nitagogwa inside. Is it clear? Parents, after COVID, are you sure you are mentally okay? Some of us went through separation. Some of us, our spouses cheated. Some of us lost great opportunities. You seem you are quiet, but are you sure you are okay? You can be quiet, but you are not. Some of you need counseling. Some of you separated. Some of you lost a loved one, but you are quiet like that. Are you sure? Can you look at your neighbor? Does he look okay? One of the way to know somebody is not stressed. Let me give you a very good sign. Unaona hapa? If your neighbor is not shining here, they have a problem. Agaria. I know what I'm talking about. Now, so are you okay? Now, let's go next because of time. Gosh, I really don't want to waste your time. These are some of the practices I request you don't do them at home. Please don't practice anyone here. 1, don't have unrealistic expectations on your children. I loved what my co-facilitator told you about career pathways. But please don't push your children too much. Is it okay? You know, at their own time, water will find its own level. My daughter is not very good academically, but I'm okay with that. My son is more good endowed academically, but my daughter is not. I just want her to deliver In fact, nachinanga nikimwambia, Jewel, just go to school and do your best. That to me is enough. Lakini mambo ya ulishindwa na watu watano walikuwa na vichwa 10. No. Even some of us never succeeded in school. Is it true? I wish I can give you a story of a guy tulikuwa tunasoma naye alikuwa anaitwa Gogi. Tulirepeat na yeye Dogoro Primary School. Gogi never went to the university. Gogi went hapa Westlands, hapa mnajua hapa Westlands, hapa Sadi Center. Alienda hapo tu na kakaton, akaanza kuuza umbwa. Sisi tukasoma, tukaenda Egerton, nikaenda Cape. Gogi watu hui, he still selling dogs. Can I shock you? In 2013, one of the ambassadors akakuja hapo Westlands akanunua 2 dogs to Gogi. Akaambia Gogi, I have to employ you to be taking care of this dog because I'm not experienced. Gogi alikuwa amejua the business of dogs, mpaka alikuwa anatuweka vitu hapa. Tumbwa tunakaa tu tusichana hivi, tunasikia kununua. He was good in what he was doing. 2017 something happened that shocked all of us in our village. Imagine Gogi, this Mzungu's wife dies. Gogi, the Mzungu got something that is, I think, is it prostate cancer? So Mzungu was told, sir, you know, because when the wife died, Gogi started taking care of this man. They were around at their 80s. Mzungu akaambiwa, you almost also die, your cancer is at stage 4. Please know that. Mzungu unajua hakuwa anataka kuzikwa Kenya. So he had 3 months to go where? Back home. He told Gogi, for the way you have taken care of me, I want to give you this house of mine. Hapa tu Muthaiga hapa. Gogi sold the house at 200 and around 13 million. If you go to a place called Mwemuto, Gogi is one of the richest person in Mwemuto. Napitaga hapo na si ningeuza umbwa hata. Si hagui kedie tugui. Your children's destiny is in the hand of God. You can only do the best. Sasa sisi zile vitu zote tulisoma university, are they the ones we are practicing? Si tulisoma periodic table. Tukaambiwa salt inaitwa sodium chloride. Ushaenda supermarket ukasema sodium potassium. Have you? Don't worry. Your children's hands are in the destiny. Give God a mighty clap if you understand what I'm talking about. So don't have unrealistic expectation. Number 2, ladies and gentlemen, don't allow your children to indulgence. Indulgence is where, because God has blessed you in one way or another, you spoil your children with everything. Hakuna kitu wanakosanga. Let me tell you, you need to let them know there is time to have and sometimes you don't have. Lakini every time ukiwa kikuitisha unapata, you don't teach them. There's a time kwangu home kulikuwa kumeisha gas. Hey, my wife was so restless. Simu restless. Nikamuuliza, how much is makaa? Mkebe 70. Nunua makaa gunia moja. Hii mwezi yote tutapika na nini? Yeah, watoto sasa nilikuwa nakuta wakifanya hivi, and they are still alive. Is it clear? Sasa zote gas afadhali ufurize. Gas. No. Let your children learn how sometimes to suffer a bit. Number 3, ladies and gentlemen, also don't overprotect them. You prevent them from facing pain. Kakitutu kadogo hivi umempaka dawa kama 10. Amekatwa tu na kapin, unaweka Dettol 3. Let them face challenges. Saa zingine amepigwa huku shule, wewe ndio umekuja karibu na CID 3 already. No, let them fight. Promise me, son, not to do the things I've done. Walk away from trouble if you can. It doesn't mean you're weak if you turn the other cheek. I to that sometimes you have got to fight to be a man. Is it okay? Number 3, neglect. I pray. I know this one will touch men negatively, but I wanted to tell any man who is listening to me, and especially for you ladies, if your husband, by bad or good luck, has a child outside, please take care of that child. Okay, tuendelee. Unajua naona mawe. Is it clear? Kwanza hii rai nimeona mawe 5 zikikuja. By the way, that child is innocent. One of the things that when God gave me this calling of families, He took me through the book of Genesis. You know the word Genesis as the word gene. Genesis is the beginning of families. Go and check how God talked to Abraham when Abraham wanted to neglect the boy called Ishmael. because the boy was innocent. Hagar may have done wrong, but the boy was whatever, or Hagar did right, or whatever you may see it. The boy is innocent. If your husband has a child outside, forget about the mother. That child deserves to be taken care of. Sijui kama mnashika what I'm talking about. Sijui kama niko naye, I don't think. Unajua vile unaniangalia unasema kuna mtu ataanza kusema la haka sikala kufanana. No. I wanted to bring it right on that one. Number what, ladies and gentlemen? So rejection, please never reject your, and I hope it will happen if a divorce comes. My wife Penina and I separates. Why should you neglect those children? It is me and my wife who have separated. The children have a right to education and a right to love. Saa zingine enda unawaona. It is good. These are still your children and your blood. The last one is what? Overexposure. And I think I'll be talking about that one. Let's be careful of what your children are watching. I was telling my wife another day, our son is now 13 years old. Be careful of how you dress. His sex curiosity is very high. So my wife akikuja kwa table room na miniskirt, it is very bad when my children start seeing their nakedness. During our old days, our mothers, when they knew they were wearing short dress, what were they covering themselves with? Lesos. Lakini mama wa siku hizi unaona zile vitu mnavaa. Si ndio? Nataka security. Huku vile laangaliwa. And then let's not teach our children disregard and disrespect. How does your children talk to the teachers? How do they talk to the elders? The way they talk to the elders is the way they'll talk to you. Next, because of time, parenting perfectly. I wanted to tell you this is how a parent, P-A-R-E-N-T. Let's go to P. Mogo next. P, let's start with P. Is what? Proactive, holistically. Make sure that when you are parent, one of the things I love about Muslims is they know this. Do you know Muslims are the best when it comes to parenting children, when it comes to, especially this, they value madrasa because they know the value of what? The spirit of what? Watu wanasemanga nakaa walia. Is it true? Hata mimi najua. Tuache mambo mingi. Is it okay? So me, I interact with them. They are very good friends of mine. So I interact with them. But one of the things I have picked from them, very good friends of mine who are Muslim is this one. Number one, how do you nurture the spirit of your child? Number one is you direct your child. I have told parents, if in case you don't go to church, that is your right, but don't deny your child the right to go and find God. Go drop them, go back home, go pick them. Let them go and discover God on their own, but don't neglect them. I learned that from our Muslim brothers. Number two, drive them. When you see as if they are moving away from the word of God, the Bible says, Proverbs 22 verse 6, train your child on the way. That means there is a way. Find that way and drive them there. The third one is disconnect. What I mean with disconnect, I mean every family has descendants and ancestors at the same time. My children are my descendants. My grandfathers are my ancestors. In case there is a spirit in our family that I'm carrying up to this level, I should disconnect it before it affects my children. Unajua jana nilikuwa na cancel mama mwingine aliniletea mtoto kutoka Murang'a High School. The boy was told to go home and rest because the principal has found the boy committing suicide 3 times. Akishindwa. When I came and called the mother, I'm talking of yesterday. When I talked to the mother told me, I know what is eating my son. My 2 brothers committed suicide last year. So you see, there are some spiritual issues. What do? You pray and you disconnect them. What do you do about the soul? You address the emotional balance. Kama mtoto wako akona hasira sana, it is the time to regulate it. My son, my daughter, mtu akasirikangi hivyo. Ukikasirika, slow down. Say what you are saying. Wacha kuongea na hasira. Kaa chini. I was remembering telling my daughter who had an anger issue, Jiwel, ukisikia uko na hasira, tulia kwanza, kunywa maji. Wacha ikae kwa mdomo dakika 3, ongea after umemeza hiyo. Tulia. You teach them how to handle anger. Lakini sasa kakikasirika, kanarusha vitabu juu, siwe kesho utarushwa. So you help them manage. How to handle self-esteem. Kuna watoto wengine, like now the Waronge we had here, the self-esteem of that boy was very crushed. I don't know why the mother never realized that this boy, by the way, I don't know whether you realized, Those guys who read the Bible very well, the story of Cain and Abel is also the story of esteem. When God punished Cain, Cain told God, but when God rejected the offering, the sacrifice of what? Of Cain, Cain felt rejected. His self-esteem went down. He said, this one I must revenge with the person whose sacrifice has been accepted. He went and took the knife and killed who? Abel. Do you have a child at home who is always complaining? Mom, why do you love my brother more than me? Why do you love my sister more than me? Ladies and gentlemen, that is a red flag that something is wrong at that level. And then we go to intelligence. That is how, like inviting our facilitators here to teach you so that you can have children who are smart. The quality of a school matters at this level. The third one is what? The body. Let me speak something about the body and then I go to the next one. What your children eat matters a lot. There's a time, nilikuwa nimeenda shule ingine kuongelesha wazazi, but I went with my son. And I thought, mtu akiwa na katoto kanono, anaonekana ni kama anajua kulisha watoto wake. Ni evidence. So tutoto wao, so I thought, watu watajua anajua kulea. I remember what the director told me. Kariuki, you have talked very well, but your children are so unhealthy. Ulikuwa unaona mtoto wangu akikimbizwa na umbu anayabia, sema tu tunegotiate. He cannot defend himself. Some of us, our children are so unhealthy. Ask any doctor who is here. I'm not a medical doctor, so that is not my profession. But they'll tell you, one of the things that cancer cell feeds on is sugar. So unakuta watoto wetu, their body is full of sugar. That means within 40 years, the cancer cells we have developed and these children may not survive. Why don't you read, mtoto wako, Monday, Indomie, Tuesday, Ringos, Wednesday, Lollipop tatu, Thursday, Ribena Ritaine. We are destroying our children. Why don't they carry water? Why? Hebu angalia fridge yako, hebu funga macho uone fridge yako, you see the, what do we call them? The junk that is full there. Sausage, hata karibu ziagushe fridge. That's not healthy. I know you can afford, but what is the problem with eating arrowroot? What is the problem with carrying water? Why don't you mwaga hiyo juice upatie watoto nini? Na unaona even our boys are too weak. Anaolewa, and I'm very sorry to say this. Let me not say this, but I think one of the causes as to why we have so many affairs is because even the boys we are bringing up are not strong enough. Anaenda hapo, nimemaliza. Okay, wacha, gosh, venye munania God nipe neema. Is it okay? I know what I'm talking about. I'm a psychologist and I have to tell you the truth. We are not just raising boys. We are raising somebody's husband and somebody's father. Mtu mwenye akisikia kuna shida, anaweza toka because he is courageous. One of the things that you can tell that your son is healthy, they must be sweating. But the boys of today are not sweating. How do you sweat when you have eaten Indomie? What do you sweat? No, let's talk. How? What will we? Indomie just produces smell. Indomie you cannot sweat. I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's go on. Sorry, the previous slide? Yes. Kila slide 500. How much? Ningekuwa Mkikuyu, I could be earning a lot of money here. Please take, sir. And also I have told you, ladies and gentlemen, please guard these three gates. The eyes. What are my children watching? Ears. What are my children listening? And number 3, how are my children talking? We call them the 3 gates of the soul. Mogo, let's go. A parent must be what? An authority. I like using the book of Genesis. Have you realized? The first children in the Bible was Adam and Eve. Let's see how God deals with them. How he is loving, but let's see how he deals with them. Check Genesis chapter 2 verse 16. And God commanded him. See, ati Mungu aliwasooth. He commanded. A parent must be an authority in the family. Don't just become too much a friend of your child that you forget. I think you can go for the books. Annie, just go. Continue. A parent must be command. You may eat freely from every tree of the garden. That is, you can give them some little freedom at home, but they are accountable. But of that tree you should not eat. Do you know what that means? Although I have given you freedom, but there are boundaries. I wanted to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, are there boundaries in your family? Boundaries ni kumaanisha kuna vitu watoto wako wanajua hawezi. Like for example, in my house, my children cannot watch TV beyond 9:30. They know. Na lazima kila mtoto akuwe na kauoga kadogo ka mzazi wake. Kama mtoto wako hana, ati mtoto wako anaweza kurudishia any word, you have already lost authority. I went to another wedding. Kuna katoto kalinishtua. Unajua hizi skirts ladies mnavaa zinakaa balloon, hizi skirts mnavaa kaskirt kana zinaitwa aje? Hizi skirts mnavaa zinakuwa skaters. Imagine ka boy, mama yake amesimama hapo, kalikuwa kanaangalia msichana mwenye yako, kanaenda kanaingia hapo. Na kana kaka unashangaa, the mother cannot see a problem. Yeah? Kengine nisikia kakiambia mom, shame on you mom. Stupid. Na the mother never said anything. Aki kama nikago kakekuwa kana pepeta kama hii mnaona hapa. Do you have authority? Because without authority, there can never be obedience. At kuna vitu watoto wako wanajua, if I go beyond this, I call them the ABCD. What is A? Articulate rules and regulations. Let them know this is right, this is wrong. It is clear. Ni venye tu zangu siwezi ziandika kama 10 commandment, but in their head they know this is right, that's called articulations of rules and regulation. B, what is B? Boundaries. This far, no. C, what is C? Anytime you break the rule, there is what? Go back, consequences, and then this. Let me read for you a letter I saw. Am I wasting your time, ladies and gentlemen? Please, nikumaliza na maliza. I'm trying very much. There's a watch I'm using there, imeguza 2, ikiguza 3, hata kama sitakuwa nimemaliza niondoke hapa. There's a letter I saw online. Listen to this letter next. Waonyeshe. This guy mnaona hapa, this is the true story. This letter is spread abroad. This guy was to be electrocuted. You know, in America, hawanyongagi watu, wanakukaishanga kitia shock, unakufia hapo. He was asked, before you die, sir, is there something you want to say? Akasema, give me a pen and a paper. I want to write something to my mom. Let's listen to the letter he wrote to the mom. Dear mom, if the law was fair today, you'd be here seated next to me, waiting to be electrocuted in the electric chair. But since the law is blind, I have been convicted for the crimes we committed together. Mom, remember how it started? Do you remember when I was 3 years old when I stole my brother's sweets? You never corrected me. Remember very well when I was 5 the day I stole my neighbor's toy and hid them at home? You said nothing. Mom, remember when I was 12 years old and I hid my cousin's ball in the garage? When he came to play with us at home, you saw it, but you said nothing. Do you remember the day I was expelled in school at 15 years? Next. At 15 years, Dad wanted to punish me, but you refused. And that very day, you had a bitter argument with Dad about this because you are defending me. You said I was still young. You said the teachers were wrong and that I was not attending class. You defended me. You said I was right, yet you knew I was wrong. Mom, remember very well. You saw me steal our neighbor's bicycle when I was 17, but you never reported. I sold it, but you are silent, Mom. You loved me so much, yes, but you didn't correct me. Instead, you spoiled me. That is how it started, and it graduated story until today, where I will be electrocuted, Mom, for the bank robbery and murder. Mom, I was very young. I just needed your guidance, Mom. By the time you'll be reading this, I'll be long gone. Yours truly, loving son. Next. I don't know whether I have time. Time imenikimbiza sana. How do you raise boys? Any mom, any dad who has a boy, please follow these 15 ones, and I think we raise warriors. Number 1, set limits and boundaries. Boys can be naughty. Boys work with limits and boundaries. Number 2, teach your boys to have manners. Number 3, model good behaviors. Number 4, ingrain kindness and sensitivity. Hata venye kijana yako ana treat girls, ingrain kindness and sensitivity. Provide adequate affection. Even boys need to be loved. Number 6, allow him freedom to be himself. My son, I usually tell my son, you can cry if you feel like crying. Tell me what is bothering you. Number 7, call out the masculinity in him. Saa zingine patia your son a challenge. Tunaenda kwa meeting of our cousins. You are the one to stand and give thanks. I want you to provide leadership and be courageous. Number 8, teach him hygiene. My son, make your bed. My son, wash your innerwears. My son, Oga vizuri. My son, kama uko na pubic hair somewhere, cut them. Teach him how to be hygienic. Number 9, teach him to be responsible. That my son, as long as I'm not home, you are the man in the house. Number 10, help him develop social skills. Wacha mtoto wako asigrow tena akiwa withdrawn, that he cannot even talk to your neighbors. Tell him, go, toka kwa nyumba, au unashinda kwa nini kwa hizi games za computer game, enda ukacheze na vijana wengine, enda ujuane, lakini mnaenda wedding na yeye ama party, kana shida na wewe hapa, ni kama ile skare ya tortoise, hakakuondoki. Go and play with other children, enda ujuane na watu. Number 12, teach him to pick non-verbal communication. Praise and celebrate him. A lot of time we don't tell our sons they have done the best. Teach him about sexuality and testosterone effect. Number 14, believe in him and tap into. My son is very good in football. I'm trying to nurture that. 15, remind him that you are the authority. You are a boy, I am what? I am the man or the mother of this house. Next, how do you raise girls? Number 1, encourage your girls to be strong and assertive. Number 2, help them overcome self-pity. Usiwahi acha msichana wako feel as if they're inferior than others. Number 3, prepare them for sexism. That my daughter, you look good. You don't have to. Unajua, my wife works in the beauty industry. Alikuwa ananiambia, there is this lady who came in one of the shop in town. Alikuwa anataka kuwa mkubwa boobs na huku. So alikuja akawekwa dawa. Sijui kama mwenye alimweka alikuwa left-sided, because hizo zote zilifura and this ones never did anything. She can never leave her house. We need to teach our daughters. You don't need. Unajua mimi kwanza hawa wazungu wametuharibu sana. Sisi wote tumenunua dawa za kuwa brown, but I've never seen mzungu akinunua dawa ya kuwa black. Don't you think these guys are joking with us? Katoto kaka. My daughter is very black, and I usually tell her, Jewel, you are the most beautiful African girl I have ever met. Besides your mom, you are the second. Is it okay? Number what, ladies and gentlemen? Coach her about sex and sexuality. Communicate unconditional love. Umesoma hizi, si ndio? Develop her faith in God. Help her deal with media. You know how ladies are affected by media. Wanaona wasichana, media dictates fashion. How ladies dress, how ladies look, how ladies, zile vitu mnavaa, hizi vitu zote, hizi nails kubwa. Those ones you see them in the media. Tell your daughter, even without them, you still look natural and good. Affirm them. Clap for yourself if you understand what I'm talking about. Because of time, okay. Okay, please, this one is very important. 5 categories of parenting. Simwache nimalizie na hii tafadhali. Si ndio? Sikizeni. 5 categories of parenting. Na nataka wazazi wote wajue hapa. Whichever kind of a parent you are, we all struggle. Whether you are a single parent or a two-pair parent, we all struggle. Who is a two-pair parent? Ni pale kuna baba na mama. I want to tell these people how to handle the challenges of parenting. Number 1, if you are a husband and a wife and you have children, I request you to handle this. Number 1, when you are punishing your children, have a united front. Isikuwe mmoja ndiye anapunish watoto na mwingine ndiye mzuri. Anytime you do that, the children realizes a crack and they start hating one and going on the side of another. There's a time ninakujanga home nasikia Jewel akiniambia, "Mami amenimpunish," na mwambia leta mshipi niongeze za baba abili. Because she want to accuse the mother so that sasa nichukie mamake nikwe side yake. Number 2, don't discuss each other with the child. Unakuta son amekosana, mom, my wife tumekosana na I'm giving an example. Sasa unakuta my wife anaambia my son, usikue kama babako. So unaona kichwa yake si mzuri. I'm saying an example. Mimi sijasema ina happen. You now side with the child. They start demeaning another. Kwanza nyinyi ladies mnakuanga. I'm so sure if I ask the ladies who are here, between your husband and your son, who do you love the most? Okay, men fuga macho niwaambie the answer. Even the men who are here, if I was to ask you, between your wife and your daughter, who do you love the most? See, I know. Guiltiness, inaliambia answer. So, then also don't have favorites. In a family, please. Acha kuchukua kuna mtoto baba anapenda kuliko nani? mwingine, ama mama anapenda kuliko mwingine. Ya nne is don't allow children to cause what? In between conflicts. Ya mwisho, single parenting. In case you are a single parent and you are parenting, these ones are the areas you struggle and I want to help you. Number one, if you feel you're overwhelmed, look for help. Kuna kitu napendanga daktari wanasemanga, if symptom persists, seek medical advice. If that boy anakushinda, look for somebody. You know. Number two, deliberately create time. As a single parent, you remember you are the father, you are the mother, you have to look for money, you are doing it alone. So without you knowing, job can steal your time from your children. I request you deliberately create time. Number three, don't self-pity. Usiwe jichukia or think you are inadequate. Even us who are two pair parents have challenges that you... Usiwe ifika pahali ukasema, wow, I wish I was not a single mom. I wish I was not a single... You are still doing well as you are. Number four is find way of breaking loneliness. One of the things that single parents suffer is something that we usually call parental burnout. Because the father left, their only comfort is their children. So a lot of time unakutanga the single parents wanashindanga, if they are not working, they are with their children. Because they want to prove to that man, these children hawataharibika hata kama ulienda. You can be so much possessed in parenting that you find yourself so lonely and isolated in life. Have friends outside there. Is it okay? Ya mwisho na ya tano is that build confidence in your children and let your children never feel victim because they are raised by what? A single parent. Number 6, don't introduce multiple partners. Nashindanga nikisema, hiyo nyumba yako na watoto wako, that is a family house. Don't bring in a man there. Monday, kirago die huyo. Tuesday, dongo. Wednesday, mzee mwingine anakuja na kanta, dhiongo. Don't do that. Let your home be a privacy for your children. It confuses them. Last one is what? Beware of, please write this. This one will help you a lot. Beware of Oedipus complex and what? Erectra complex. Do you know what is this? Oedipus complex is where you love your son, as a woman, you love your son so much until you feminize him. Do you know I was reading a book about gayism and homosexuality? What causes children to be gays? 3 reasons. 1, choices. 2, 1, choices. 2, nitazikumbuka nilikuwa nawaambia. Lakini wakiwa wanasema, if a boy has a possessive mother, a mother who keeps touching the boy, my son, you are okay, my son. Wanasemanga, if this boy reaches age 14, 15, anaanza kudate girls, when the girls start touching him, the mother's touch are all over that the boy cannot feel the girl's touch. So by the end of the day, anaendanga nakuwa wapi? You need to know what I'm talking about. Even for us men, don't be so close to your daughter until she loses the taste for other men. Do you know, by then nilikuwa nasoma kitabu ingine jana nilikuwa naambiwa, there is something that we usually call emotional incest. You are not doing anything, but it's like you are too possessed, which is not right. Like right now, my daughter is now 11 years. I cannot peck her here. At goodbye. I cannot do that. That is emotional incest. Mimi, I am a man. I cannot allow my daughters to sit on me here. I know what is here. She knows. No, actually kuniangalia ni kama siko nomo. What? Please and then msome hii. Do you know what is Oedipus complex? Oedipus complex, the boy was so close to the mother, and the boy was so jealous because the mother and the father were very close. The boy killed the father and married the mother. And then msome. It is a psychological aspect. Please don't. Kuna pahali inafikanga, you now withdraw a bit. Even me now, my daughter, at every time nashinda nimehug my daughter like that. Hey, no. Now she is also developing body-wise. Is it clear? Yeah. Tena saa zingine ukiona kijana yako, you are a mother, kijana yako anashinda, when uko na miniskirt na kuangalia, unafaa sasa kujua his emotional antenna is high. My daughter nikiona nikikuja na towel kwa table. Be careful. Next. Piga ni picha. If you are a step parent, avoid favorism. Don't use demeaning remarks. Let's go next. Next. Oh, muna complain na nizangu. Okay, piga. Oh, ni time. Guys, ni time. Thank you. Next. Oh, yes, sir, next. Wow, let me finish with this and NNT. But ladies and gentlemen, the 21st century is crazy. Too much sex in the world. Rainbow movement is here with us, the gayism, the cultism and Halloween, violence, sodomy and rape. By the boys are getting raped every day. Mental illness, watu wamegonjeka kutoka post-COVID, drug abuse, ziko, secularism, broken family, social media addiction and influence. Let me say something very quickly. Sir, next. Niwaambia muavoid aka kamutu sana. So every time your child akona phone, akashoshuka kwa hapa kanaitwa momo. Nikale tuliona. Akiwatch kanamwambia, commit, is your mom around? No. Can you go to there's a girl niliona online, kaniambia, is your mom around? Kana type no. Do you have a knife around? No. Can you buy a razor? Yes, you are a champion. Cut your lips. It's true. These things go online. So ukiona mtoto wako na phone, monitor what they are using. Next, sir. Next. This is cultism. This guy is called Snoop Dogg something. You remember this is one of his best songs that made him a billionaire. But this came from Illuminati world. Dogs and Nutters. And dogs and Nutters is a configured word meaning Satan is God. So we just need to be careful of what songs our children are listening to. He confessed this because now he's a Christian. There's another cowboy that is really driving our children crazy. Next, let me show them. Continue. This one. Who knows the name of this tribe? Unajua saa mkijua tu kina Githai. It's bad. Nasamido. Who can tell me? Who is this? Yes, sir? 6ix9ine. This guy, let me say something very quickly about the songs world. Any person who wants to thrive with songs in this world, probably he doesn't want, there can be secular songs, but any person who wants to thrive with song in this world, he must be enforced by a spirit. If you are a Christian, the Holy Spirit can enforce you to sing well. But in the dark world, they need a demonic spirit to enforce them to the world. Now, mnaonanga watu kama akina Beyonce. Beyonce will be called Beyonce outside the stage. But when she comes on the stage, she's called Sasha Fierce. That's now the name of a demon. Na mwingine, I wish I can remember her name. Now this guy, akikuja kwa stage, he doesn't come with his own name. He come carrying the demon. So every time your son anamsikiza kwa earphone, it is the demon in him speaking. This guy's assignment is only one. Any person who listen to you, you must transfer the spirit of gayism and lesbianism. No wonder you see the colors he has. So katoto kako tu kwani kanamsikiliza, songs have a way of entering the spirit. Unakuta msichana wako akikwambia, me dad, I'm not interested with boys anymore. Why? The spirits have started transferring. If we don't understand this, we lose our children. Enda hiyo ingine. Enda. Social media tukasema, be careful about your children being addicted to social media. Kuna cyberbullying. Kuna vitu kama hizo. Please at times, help your children plug out. Saa zingine disconnect hii wifi. Mi huzizima miezi 2. Watu wako addicted wote. Plug out. Number 2, create outdoor activity. Watoto watoke nje wakacheze na huko. Number 3, noted regulate addiction. Ukiona mtoto wako ni kama haezi kaa bila simu, withdraw it. Number 4, don't introduce overly use of gadgets. Watoto wa grade 10 hawafai kuwa na simu. Sasa nyinyi already mshawanunulia. Number 5, put rules and regulation. Hii simu ni assignment, kuchat na mtu moja, enda ukarare. I was shocked to see my daughter is also in TikTok. Twende, nikumaliza namaliza, nurture values. Some of the values you can nurture is honesty, manners, responsibility, respect, love, consideration. Sina time ya kuwafundisha. T ya mwisho sasa twende home. T, be a team player. You are now in Mountain View School. I request you to realize that your children spend more time in school more than they spend at home. True or false? And therefore you need to partner with Mountain View to bring your children better. How do you do it? Number 1, support the school's program. Mkiambia mko na programs ziko nazo. Like me, there is a time hata nimeona message nimeandikiwa sijui ati nilipe sijui 2,500. If I cannot take my children to where they are going, then I support them. There is a time niambia mtoto wangu, hii trip is very expensive. Hapa Bomas 3,000. Kama acha nikupeleke. Akaniambia, Dad, it is not just about me and you going. There is something I learned from the teachers. There is also the communal feeling that I want. Support them. Number 2 ni kumaliza partner in guidance and what? Discipline. Ukiitiwa mtoto uambie mtoto wako ako na shida, wacha kuambia mwalimu. Hizo vitu zote unasema zimetoka huku. Nyumbani tuko wasafi. No, listen. Number 3 also what? Give ideas. There is no school. I have gone to so many schools. There is no school that is perfect. Even Mountain View is not perfect. There is a time, kuna shule watoto wangu walikuwa nasomea na hapa, and every time I would go to a school, the owner of that school is called Mr. Masharia. I would send him and tell him, Mr. Masharia, I know my children are there. There's something I have picked from a school. Try that idea. Hey, Mr. Masharia got excited. He made a mistake he did. Akaniambia, hey, Mr. Kariuki, come. You know, you have given me so many ideas. Hii term hutalipa school fees. I wish ungeniona head of term, Mr. Masharia, other ideas. Ili nisilipe school fees. But what am I saying, ladies and gentlemen? If there is somewhere that is wrong, there is something we call positive criticism. You are criticizing, but with a positive intention. What about it again, ladies and gentlemen? Synergy parenting. Our teachers, I wanted you to remember, because I'm also a parent, we have trusted these children to you. Be faithful to them. Kumekuwa na issues as teachers molesting children. Let it not be heard here. Let it, it's very bad. Na muoe, kama hamjaoa, muoe, so that we know you are safe. Is it clear? Yeah. I have never trusted a sexually starved man with my daughter. Is it? Is it clear? Na kama ni harusi tutawafanyia. Is it true, parents? Yes, tunataka tujue we have trusted our children to stable fathers and stable husbands. Is it true? Me, I know what I'm talking about. Kuna mamaring. Number 5. Exactly. Don't discuss or scold teachers, with children. Usiwahi discuss mtoto wako na nani? Usiwahi discuss mwalimu na mtoto wako. Ni teacher mgani huyo? Yule anashidana na jacket ya blue. No wonder. You don't talk like that. Don't demean them. Number 6 is what? Supervise what? Please don't do assignments with them. I love what my co-facilitator aliwaambia. On this one, unajua hii, unajua sisi hata ukiangalia venye tumefika hapa na vitu zingine hata primary tuligess. Si ni kweli? Like me, I knew. Me mathematics nilipata 64 KCP and I guessed. Because mathematics has never been my subject. Because hii question nilikuwa na, if 5 men cut grass in 3 days, how many men will cut grass in 4 days? Si wala washa kata. Is it okay? I hated that. Amen. And then, so guys, supervise assignment. Na by the way, mi nafanyanga hivi. When I am not able to do a question, naandikianga teacher, even me as a parent nimeshindwa, assist my son. Si lazima tushinde tukigogo, hata mi sielewi. Is it clear? Muandikie teacher, this one, please help her. Is it clear? Ya mwisho is what? Be involved in what? And it's what my facilitator was talking about, parents engagement. I think I would request you to, if God graces you with money, buy this book on parenting. I've written it. It's called Parenting Without Stress. It will help you. I've written here, the greatest challenge in families today is not that our children knows too much, but that our parent knows too little. Yeah? Ukipatia mtoto wako simu right now, zile vitu atagogo, wewe ndikupatia M-Pesa, Fuliza. Is it clear? These children are in another level you are not in. I think these books will be outside there. Each book is 1,000 shillings. But I think because of the economy, venye watu wana complain vitu zimepanda, mafuta, instead of 1,000, 999. Is that okay, ladies and gentlemen? Ladies and gentlemen, I found you tired, but I'm so grateful you listened to me. Asanteni, asanteni, asanteni. And ukiona watu wanakuinvite mara nyingi, it could be for 2 reasons. Either you do it so well, that's why they're inviting you again, or maybe you are not doing it well, they are calling to see whether you have improved. But either way, I have been invited. Guys, thank you. May God bless our children. May we raise successful children. May none of our children ever get lost. I wish you God's blessings.